Morning, guys. Hey, I just want to touch base with you. Welcome here on this Thursday morning, okay, Bio 2 class. I just want to talk briefly about the activity introduction, a little bit about the unit and how we're going to be doing it, okay? This first chapter 1 in the textbook, I actually made a complete copy for you. It's an easy one to follow, but it was necessary. It's only about 10 pages long and easy reads, and each little module or each little section, which was like 1.1, 1.2, and things like that, it'll make sense when you see it. Covers a different, just kind of broad surface topic of all the units that will be covered throughout this year, right? So we'd like to spend this first chapter 1 unit just kind of touching base, getting our brains thinking in the same frame of mind as science. But most importantly, if you picked up on that when you met with me yesterday, was becoming better problem solvers, or even what is the main topic or content of the topic at hand. And you'll see that in the first little assignment that we do. Right? I've uploaded or published for you the textbook pages, so they're clear and easy to read. I've double checked and made sure it's the same as the pages from the introduction to like page 10. You'll just scroll down through it, so that's the same as if you had the book in front of you. I unpublished an icebreaker activity, which is the first two page and a half right there. It deals with the rebound of the big-billed bird, it's called, which is actually the brown pelicans, and we'll talk about that in a second. I also unlocked the PowerPoint that goes with chapter 1, 1.1 all the way to 1.9. It's very, very broad, very summarized up, and also a note guide that you have with it as well that you can fill in the blanks that goes parallel with it too as well. Okay, so I've unlocked those 4 things here on this first block day. And the dates are where they need to be and so on. I believe the Pelican little exercise that we get to that is due by midnight on Friday. No big deal, it's very simple. Usually if you're here in class, after we talk about it and kind of get your brains thinking about what we want, probably takes you 10-12 minutes to read and pull out the who, what, when, where, and why of the chapter. Because that's one of the things I really want to get you guys in tune to thinking. Okay? Science, like I said, is one of those topics that's always changing. There's all kinds of great information and something to jog your interest, right? And a lot of times we never have the full answers, okay? Whether it be to lack of technology or just explanation, whatever it might be, but we always have that power to look further into those topics that we have interest in, okay? And also understanding that all areas of science, biology, astrology, geology, I said astrology, I'm going to say astronomy, evolution, cell biology, viruses, all those various, even chemistry and physics, they all are interwound together as like one big giant symbiotic relationship, meaning they all feed off each other. Okay? So you really can't have one area of science without the other. And a lot of times we always kind of shun away from a lot of science topics because we don't talk about it a lot unless you have a specific interest, right? Or the language that's used is not common. You know, a lot of Latin and Greek phrases and prefixes and stuff that, you know, if you were playing Scrabble, it'd be like a 20-point word and you'd win, right? So have to get used to that too as well, all right? But more importantly is what is it asking, and that's what I want you guys to really focus on, right? Because I know at the touch of a button, you can get on the internet and Google bar in exactly what you want, scroll in the right answer, move on to the next one, but are you really grasping the why, or what is the point of this information, or how can it be recalled? Because all the time out, you never know the encounters and things on that you may learn in the field of science that applies to everyday life, and it's a lot more common than you'd expect, right? So all I did for today was, you kind of see this is what you have for your chapter thing. The title of that first 2 pages is the Big Billed Bird Rebounds, okay? And it's just a quick little story about the importance of what happened to this brown pelican along the coast of Florida, okay? Why it became endangered, what it did, all right, and the how it came about to rebound, as you might want to say, as you notice from the article, okay? So it's a quick read, and then what I did when I read it, I created a little reading guide with it, okay, to practice. I think when you guys, years ago, you practiced a technique called double column notes, right? I always thought it was a really good way of getting the information 3 and 4 times after one little read, okay? Because it does take time for information to retain itself, you know, for recall, especially in science. And especially, let's be honest, if it's a topic you don't have a great interest in and you're just kind of, let me get through this, move on to the next one, I get it, okay? But putting yourself in and asking questions about what you read and then answering them is a really good beneficial way of helping recall when it comes to a knowledge base of the topic, especially in science, okay? Like for example, when you read through this article, all right, that's the first time you saw it, okay? The second time is what I did is, as I was reading it, I created questions, all right, about the various topics I read about. I'm basically making it a who, what, when, where, why. And then I went back with those 10 questions that I pulled out, and they might be a lot of the same questions that you can come up with, because they should be. There's not a lot of content information in there anyway, right? But then I answered them. So without even the instructor, okay, or myself even talking about this article specifically, you've already read it once, you created questions about the material you read, and then you answered them. So you've had that thing already through. You're already on your fourth cycle before we would do maybe a Q&A about the topic at hand, right? And you're more engaged and you're more prone to recalling exactly what took place in the article, right? Because that's a lot of it, knowledge base. I mean, science, you don't have to have everything right at the tip of your fingers. You just need to know where to retrieve the information, okay? And then how to interpret it. And then how conclusions, or how I can use that to further my knowledge, or in some cases, experimental design, or some cases, trying to solve, you know, a major dilemma or problem if you're in those fields of study, okay? So what you're gonna do for today is you're gonna look at these notes. I'd prefer, I'll probably only read the first page there with the simple page about the Big Bird Rebound, the little reading guide, okay? And you'll submit that, okay? I'd like you, at your own leisure, to start looking through the PowerPoint, all right? And doing the note guide that goes with it, okay? Just for your greater acknowledgement of it, all right? And then there's some other activities we'll go into, but the first part is just getting used to asking those questions, okay? Being intrigued and you know, just curious, okay? You've been asking questions your whole life, all right? Ever since you were a little kid, to stuff you have a strong interest in, or just stuff you don't understand, all right? So that's what we're just going to practice on this first day, all right? About today. I just met with you a few seconds ago and told you to go ahead and go to this video to kind of get you an idea of the direction we're going. I wrote up on the blue side of the board over here, textbook copy chapter 1, you have that open, the Pelican reading guide exercise, and then the PowerPoint with the notes, okay? So we're going to start with that on this first class period on Thursday, A day, and then go from there. And then the next time I will collaborate or talk with you in this capacity would be on Monday, which is another A day, all right? But that doesn't mean I still would like you guys to, each day, even though it's a B day or even a Wednesday day where it's catch-up day, just click on the update in Bio 2 for this section or this hour to make sure there's nothing that I wanted you to do. A lot of times I will write something every day, whether it's just to remind you what's coming up, what needs to be done, or kind of give you an idea of where we're going, okay? So those are some of the important things that I will do for you as we trudge along through this virtual classroom setting until I get you guys back here in front of me, right? Also, don't forget to, by the end of this day, if you haven't already, many of you already submitted, just your little bios and your questions about what you did this summer, who you are. Give me an idea a little bit with that, because you're going to hear me talk a lot. I'll see you through the, the Google Meets and Hangouts on occasion. But a lot of times they'll be pre-recorded like this, that you can stop and turn and look back or so on like that. So that'll be beneficial to you as well. All right. So for this first one, like I said, about 10 minutes of this time like that. All right. We're in here for an hour and 25 minutes, and then I'll tell you we'll come back like the last 5 minutes, which would be about 9:20. We'll get back on Google Meet, and just real quick, if anybody had any questions and so on, make sure everything was able to open. If there was any glitches or something, then that be able to jot down, then I can make sure and get those answers, technical answers for you before the next time we meet, or I can get them fixed that day for you, okay? So once again, welcome back to first class period. All right, looking forward to seeing you guys again on Monday. I'll see you every Thursday and every Monday morning at 8 a.m. All right? Okay. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you have any questions, email me. Okay. Remember the old email I talked about, 10 p.m. on emails. If I miss it, then I'll probably go back to it till the morning until I get in here about 6:30. But I'm here in this room all day long. So if you need anything, hey, I'm just I type and a send away. All right? Okay. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Bye.